Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dr. Velasquez, Health Officer for Spokane County. And today I am joined by the Safe Kids Spokane coordinator, Renee Whitmer, who, thank you for joining us today, who's been here with us before. And we're going to talk about child passenger safety, which is a very, very, very important topic. And I always like to remind people that, putting kids like in that parcel shelf under your, it's not the right way to do it. But we're going to talk about all of that today. Actually, that was apparently popular in the 70s. I don't know that because I didn't have any kids then. But we're going to talk about what is safe. And I think it's very important because summer season, we're all going somewhere, we're going to visit, we're going to travel. So children are going to spend a little bit more time in the car. It's important for us to know what that means. I want to say something. In addition to being the coordinator for that program, you're also a child passenger safety technician instructor. Tell us a little bit about that.
I became a child passenger safety technician in 2006, and then in 2008, I became an instructor for that program. So I teach other people who want to become child passenger safety technicians and how to do that, and so that they can also help keep kids safe in the cars in their communities.
And what does a technician do?
They meet with families and they look at how the child arrives in their car seat, and then they figure out if there's anything that the parents could be doing to keep their kids safer. They'll take the car seat out of the car, check it all over for recalls and expiration and damage, and then they'll teach the parent the correct way to put it back in the car and the correct way to harness their child for every ride. So the parent is very empowered to be able to do this once they've left an appointment with a car seat technician.
Got it. So you can do that as you're acquiring the car seat, once you have the car seat, once you have kids in the car seat.
Yes.
So any stage, one of these technicians can help you.
Any stage from pregnant person all the way through kids in booster seats and moving out of booster seats into the seatbelt, yes.
Okay, and they don't mind the Cheerios and things under this?
No, we've seen it all. So bring your kids. We are a no judgment zone.
Okay, just mentioning that because some people are sensitive about that. So one of the things I hear from people is there's a lot of safety rules, there's a lot of laws. It gets a little bit overwhelming. So one of the questions is, so who makes up all these rules, and why is it important for us to follow that?
Yeah. The car manufacturers and the car seat manufacturers and the government have all done a lot of testing over the years to find out the best ways to keep kids safe. Then they also look at crash records of injuries and fatalities and look at those things and see what they can do to improve the outcomes in crashes for kids. And so then those regulations and guidelines are updated frequently as they find out new information. For example, we didn't used to have side impact crash testing in the United States, and now we are. And so all of the new car seats that are available in the stores right now have been crash tested to those upgraded testing requirements.
Wonderful. So it's a collaborative effort taking into consideration not just the seat and the child, but the vehicle around them and everything else that happens with the vehicle. I think that's important. So, and eventually that becomes laws, and we follow those. So one of the questions that people ask is, so where do I find all this information? How do I know how to do the right thing?
Yes, and that is a really good question. The best place to find the information is from the car seat manufacturer themselves. Each car seat will come with an instruction manual, and then they often will have videos and other instructions on their websites. Your vehicle manual also has a lot of good information on how to use the car seats in that particular vehicle. And then visiting your local child passenger safety technician who can teach you exactly what you need to do with your child in your vehicle.
Okay. About how many of those technicians do we have in the region, do you know?
We have between 15 and 20.
Okay, so there's plenty for people to go. Okay. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about how do we develop the guidance and the rules or where you can find the information. So if I'm going to be a parent, why is it important for me to follow all of that? Why is it important for me to really take that seriously?
Riding in the car is something kids do every day. This is one thing that we can do to keep them safe. We can't control how other people drive on the road. We may think we're the best driver in the world, but we don't know if somebody else is texting or driving under the influence or something. So if we can do everything we can to keep our kids safe in our cars, then if that terrible tragedy crash happens, then we've done what we can to keep them safe.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that because we did talk not that long ago about traffic accidents and distracted drivers for a
Yes.
variety of reasons being one of the common issues, particularly at this time of the year. So if I'm looking for a car seat or, like, for example, we have grandchildren, how do I know what's safe? Where do I get that information? How do I know which laws to follow?
You definitely want to follow the laws of your state. Each state makes their own child passenger safety laws. But even more important, we want to follow the laws of physics.
Oh.
So we have the state laws, which are kind of the bare minimum, but we want to follow what is best practice, the best way to keep kids safe in cars. And sometimes the laws don't meet up with that. But best practice would be keeping a child rear facing as long as possible.
Okay.
So up to 40 or 50 pounds, depending on the rear facing weight limit of their car seat. So that means kids can be rear facing until they're 3 or 4 years old. That protects their head and their spinal cord in a crash because the whole back of the car seat is protecting their body,
Right.
and spreading the crash forces, where when they're forward facing, the only thing holding them back is the straps, and their head still has a lot of movement there. Then keeping kids in their forward facing 5-point harness until they're mature enough to sit in a booster seat. And then where we're really seeing a lot of injuries is in those booster seat aged kids. So the
Okay.
5 to 12-year-olds. People are graduating them out of the booster seat too soon. And when they go into just the regular vehicle seatbelt, the vehicle seatbelt doesn't fit them properly. So then it's cutting into their abdominal organs and giving them internal
high up.
injuries. Yes.
So how do you transition from the seat to the booster seat? Because I've seen the big ones and then the little ones.
Yes. So once a child has outgrown the upper height or weight limit for their 5-point harness, then they can go into the booster seat. And the job of the booster seat is just to boost the child up so that that adult seat belt hits the strong parts
Right.
of their body. It hits on their hip bones, it hits across the middle of their chest and their shoulder and collarbone. And so once they're sitting in that is what that helps with. And they're going to stay in that until they're at least 4'9", and then
Okay.
pass the 5-step test, which is how you can look and see if a child has outgrown their seatbelt. And we can put a link in the comments to how to look at that. But basically what we're looking at when they move into the adult seatbelt is that they can sit with their bottom all the way back against the back of the seat. Their legs bend comfortably at the edge of the seat and their feet are flat on the floor. And then the lap belt fits low on their hip bones and the shoulder belt crosses the middle of their chest. And that they can sit that way the whole ride.
The whole ride.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which sometimes is the challenge.
Yes, it is. That's where the maturity piece comes in.
Okay. So there's a lot of areas to consider before you make that transition from the regular car seat to the booster. From the booster, there's some requirements too.
Yes.
To the seat belt. So take into consideration your child. Mm-hmm. Not all kids are the same height. Not all
Yes.
kids are patient.
Yes.
So I think all of those are things that we need to take into consideration. And I know that we're going to put in the chat a few pieces of information for people to follow, which will be a good place to start. And
Yes.
then they can go to the resources you've
Yes.
mentioned. So the average person in the community that goes like, well, I don't have any kids anymore. What can I do to make it safe?
A big thing that we need to think about in the summertime is pediatric vehicular heat stroke. So everybody that's walking through a parking lot can be keeping an eye out and making sure that somebody has not accidentally left their child in the car. Those tragedies tend to happen when somebody's out of their regular routine. So if somebody else is supposed to take the child to daycare that day and they just get in their car and go on autopilot to work and don't even think
yeah.
about that they needed to make that extra stop. So all of us in the community can be looking out for that.
Okay, and that's not judgmental. It can happen to
Yes.
anyone. We all forget
really
things all
can.
the time
Yeah.
because we do have our routines and patterns.
Yeah.
Cannot tell you how many times I'm not coming to the office. I'm still coming to the office.
Yes, exactly.
Even on Sundays occasionally. Like, oh, I'm not going there today.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for us to be helpful.
Yes.
And if we see something, we'll say something.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure a parent that kind of forgot
Yeah.
will appreciate it and say, hey, because they obviously don't want anything to happen to their child.
Yes.
So, and I think we have to be mindful, particularly in days that are really hot. Like yesterday or the day before I went outside,
Yeah.
it was like 91 degrees all of a sudden. It's like in a car, in a parking lot, direct sunlight can get hot in a matter of minutes.
Yes. In less than 10 minutes, it can be hot enough for a child to pass away.
Yeah. So we have to be mindful of that. And I've heard, well, I'm just going to run in and out. There's no such thing running in and out. Whenever you're going to run in and out, that's when the line slows down.
Yeah.
or the automated register doesn't work or something happens, so let's not take that chance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just pick it up, take it with you. That's why we have all those new contraptions where you can put children you can tell that I spent a lot of time around children more recently with the grandkids.
Yes.
So I'm aware of all the new tools
Yeah.
that we have. So as we think about safety in the car, and we're going to focus safety in the car, I know that there's safety in many other places. Anything else you want people to be aware of, thinking about, or no?
Car seats are great for in the car, but once you take the child out of the car, if they're in one of those kind of car seats with the handle that you carry around, they shouldn't be in those car seats really out of the car. Go ahead and take your baby out and carry them or put them in the stroller. They should have limited time sitting in that car seat when they're out of the car.
Okay.
And they should never sleep in that car seat when it's not in the car.
That's why we have strollers and the little doohickey things that
Yeah,
go
the
like
baby
this.
carriers,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the technical term, doohickeys. But there are a lot of tools nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we're saying is use the appropriate tool
Yes.
for the appropriate activity. And whether you think it's going to be 5 minutes or half an hour, just take that extra 2 minutes and do the transfer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So anything else for our audience today before we go and have everybody safe on the roads?
Yeah. At Sacred Heart Children's Hospital, we offer free car seat check appointments, and we can put the link in the chat as well. Monday, Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, you can come in and a child passenger safety technician will take a look at your setup and help you make sure that your kids are riding safe every day.
So you can make an appointment, drive up, and someone will come out and
Yes.
take a look and help you with that. I think that's good to know because, Sacred Heart Center is located,
Yeah.
between north and south, so it's a good place to go, and we'll know where it is, I
Yeah.
guess. So hard to miss,
Yes.
right? Up on the hill, it's really big. Well, we appreciate that your service. We appreciate Sacred Heart doing that, and we also appreciate all of the instructors that take the time to help new parents, grandparents, whomever it is that's going to transport a child. And the reason why I say whomever is because it's the responsibility of anyone that's going to have a child in the car.
Yes, it is.
Whatever the relationship with that child
Yeah.
is. It's not like, well, I'm just going to take him over there for 5 minutes. You need to have
Every ride, they need to be safe.
every ride, they need to be safe. So, and sometimes if you have more than one vehicle, many families assign one vehicle to be the vehicle with transport. So it's a good way to separate if you're just going to have adults or you're going to have children, then have that vehicle that has all the car seats.
Yeah. And we'll make sure that you know how to put them in. So if that car breaks down and you need to move them to the different car, then you'll know how to do it.
Yep, and you don't need, contrary to popular opinion, you do not need an engineering degree to install those.
No.
So I've heard.
No, you don't. Just a little bit of body mechanics and an instruction manual.
Wonderful. So, folks, I hope you were paying attention, particularly as we go on all these summer trips and we all spend more time in the car. Be safe. Make sure your children are safe, but please also don't drive distracted. Keep attention. If the kids in the back are getting a little bit rambunctious, pull over, stop somewhere, take a break, go in the shade,
Yeah.
have a drink of water, make sure everybody's good. Don't go like this because obviously your kids may be safe in the back, but you may make the road unsafe for somebody else.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So with that, we're going to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next week. Thank you to Renee, and stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you again next Wednesday. Thank you.